Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Wenzel, and this is Hey Bay City.
Yeah, such a friendly voice. I love it. You do have a great radio voice, Kristen Wenzel.
That's kind of you to say.
Well, I'll just turn up the bass in post-production.
I'll sound like Kathleen Turner by the time I'm done.
You'll start using your voice as voiceover.
Yeah, whatever we got to do.
Yeah.
Kristen Wenzel, I'm so excited to talk to you today because we're talking about a very special event, MiCareer Quest. Before we get into the event, though, give me a little bit of your background. This is our first time meeting in person. So,
It is.
So give me a Kristen Wenzel 101.
Oh, well, Kristen started in retail.
Really?
Yes.
What kind of retail?
I managed the Franklin Covey store for 16 years and really got to meet the regional, actually, people from all over, people involved in the business community.
Cool.
Awesome.
And then I went to a small startup, and then I joined Michigan Works, and I've been there ever since. So it's
Really?
I kind of cut my teeth on Franklin Covey, but I've kind of grown up along the way as it is. There's nothing that can prepare you for working in workforce except working in workforce.
Yeah,
So,
I can imagine.
Absolutely.
so it's been a fun journey.
How did that transition from retail to workforce happen?
Selling experience.
Yeah.
I started as a business service representative when I joined Michigan Works and have had the opportunity to move up into other positions throughout my tenure, and this is where I am now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. I love that. For folks that might be listening to this, if they haven't directly engaged with Michigan Works, they've seen it, they've seen the logo, they know maybe where the offices are, but they don't know exactly what Michigan Works does. Can you explain that a little bit? Give us a quick 101 about Michigan Works.
Sure. We help employers find the talent that they're looking for, and we help prepare people who are looking for work to be competitive in the job market.
Mm.
A lot of people assume that we're the unemployment office, but they're a social service arm of state government that supports people while they're disconnected from work.
Mm.
And that's the time that you want to connect with us, is when you experience that in your lifetime. And, invariably we all do at some point in our lives. But we work with individuals who are entering the workforce for the first time until they're no longer wanting to be connected to the workforce. So we work with individuals from the teens right up into people who are at retirement age or beyond.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Sounds right up our alley, right,
Yes.
Marlene?
This is what this is all about.
It is.
So you mentioned working with folks entering the workforce for the very first time, and I think that's a great segue into MiCareer Quest because it really is kind of geared towards how do we get people to experience it and open their brains as to what is possible. So give me a quick 101 as to what exactly this event is. Why was it created, for one, and then what can I experience when I'm there?
Well, we're really good at connecting employers to the workforce that is actively seeking work. What we also need to do is prepare the future workforce for opportunities that exist right here at home.
Mm.
That's the foundation of what MiCareer Quest Middle Michigan is. So in our this concept for this event was created by another Michigan Works agency and shared with all of us throughout the Michigan Works network.
Mm.
This is going to be our third in-person event this year in 2023.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
And we target 10th graders from a combined 11 county region because we partner with our Michigan Works neighbor to the north to bring this region or to this event to this area.
Mm.
And we have collectively identified our in-demand occupations for the region and invite employers from those sectors to create engaging hands-on exhibits that the students can experience in a hands-on way. Talking to an industry professional who's passionate about the job that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is a very high-energy event that expands a student's understanding of what opportunities exist right here at home.
Mm.
It's awesome.
That was the thing that really drew me and got me interested in MiCareer Quest because the interactive portion of it, the experiential portion of it, I used to be a middle school teacher, and I found out really quickly that kids have only a limited capacity to listening to adults tell them stuff.
Yes.
And so really, if we want kids to learn about different sectors and different professions and different occupations, things like that, they really need to experience those things.
Be exposed.
Yeah, I can tell them all about welding, but it's a completely different experience being able to see it, or some kind of construction, being able to do it. And man, that is just so compelling to me.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to plan it, but it's a labor of love for all of us on
Yeah.
the planning committee, which Marlena is a part of. We just started our planning for 2023,
Yes.
and it's off to the races. We're all excited to be back in the game again.
Yeah. Marlena, what about you? What do you love about this event?
The one thing that I love about it is, as Kristen said, it's giving the opportunity for these high schoolers to be exposed to industries early on.
Yep.
Because one thing that we realized, I know I didn't have those opportunities in high school. I don't know about you, Kristen or Phil. So being able to touch and feel and actually have an opportunity to interact with employers, this is fantastic. And this is why we wanted to bring you on, Kristen, because I don't think enough of individuals in our community have an idea what value this brings, especially to students. So exposing these students early on is giving them the opportunity to say, hey, this is what's available in our community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hopefully stay.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Stay here. You can have a great life,
Yes.
earn a great living, and enjoy a great quality of life,
Yes. Yes.
and not have to leave your family
Yep.
in order to be able to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so much comes down to attention and experience.
Yes.
Like if kids, young adults, young professionals just aren't aware of what's available to them here, and meanwhile bigger metropolitan areas, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Traverse City, outside Chicago, things like that, there's a lot of potential for attention there because of the momentum and simply the size. And so if kids aren't aware that these opportunities are here, you can't really blame them by saying, well, maybe Detroit is the place. So MiCareer Quest just fills in just such a magical gap. So is it a one-day event? And tell me about how many like folks are there? How many different occupations are there? Kind of give me that look.
Well, we have about 70 exhibitors
Oh, wow.
who
Yeah.
donate their time, and in a lot of cases are a sponsor of the event, because this event is largely underwritten by employer sponsorships. Last year we had about 5,000 students come through in a single day. It's
That's
organized chaos is what it is.
Wow.
But we have a very tight schedule that we keep. The buses have clear instructions for arriving on time. Marlena and her team have, since the very beginning, been energizing those students from the moment they walk off the bus and get them into the building quickly and efficiently so that they can get downstairs and start experiencing the MiCareer Quest experience. So all in all, we have between exhibitor staff who staff their exhibit, there are about 700 exhibitors and volunteers
Wow.
who are coordinating the event and the logistics of the event to get these students through all 5 industry sectors in the 90 minutes that the school is allotted to go through the experience. It's a very quick field trip, but the feedback that we receive, and we do pay attention to the feedback that we receive, because one of our foundational principles is learn, innovate, improve. So we learn something every year, like, oh yeah, we can tweak this, and this will have a better result for the event. So
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Marlena.
no, I was just going to say, so on the flip side, with the students having the opportunity to be exposed to these different industries, the employers have an opportunity to really showcase what their industry is about in their business. So this is a good way to put them on this platform to say, hey, this is what we do. These are some of the different products that are made right in our own backyard.
Yeah, very much a two-way
Yes.
connection. Before we dive into that, what you mentioned 5 sectors. Can you tell me what those 5 sectors?
sure, they're advanced manufacturing, agribusiness, health sciences, IT, and construction.
Oh.
I didn't do it in alphabetical order,
That's
but that's
all
all
right.
five.
I love that spread though.
Yes.
That's very much like
Little bit of
everything from
everything.
trades to health services to IT. I mean, the chances of a 10th grader showing up and saying I'm attracted to at least one of these sectors is super high.
Well, and we have 4 quadrants that the students cycle through, and IT is deliberately integrated throughout those 4 quadrants because we want students to understand that IT is in every business.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
Yes.
And
yes.
so you can have an excellent career in IT, but you could be serving multiple different industries
Yeah.
throughout the course of that event.
That's awesome.
Through the career.
Oh, cool. Marlene, I love your point that you brought up about it is absolutely about bringing kids and exposing kids to these different sectors of industry and occupation. But it is also creating this opportunity for employers to get in front of these kids that are,
Yes.
they're really the next generation of the future of their businesses. Kristen, can you speak to that at all? The benefit from the employer perspective of being an exhibitor and participating in
Absolutely.
MiCareer Quest?
It is, we're reaching the point rapidly where we're going to have to turn employers away because we don't have
Oh,
the
my goodness.
capacity
That's a good problem.
to accommodate everybody that wants to participate. And it's a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah.
But in manufacturing, for example, that was probably our largest volume of exhibitors that wanted to connect to the students. And there's so much in manufacturing that the students can be exposed to. From 3D printing, we had 3D printers there last year, and
Yeah, very cool.
all sorts of hands-on activities. I'm going to miss all kinds of things, but
That's all right.
in agribusiness, for example, we had someone who hauls produce bring in a simulated piece of equipment that the students could actually work on to understand what kind of large machinery is involved in the agricultural business.
Right.
In the health sciences area, there were a set of lungs that the students were actually able to work with and
That
pump.
is just
It's
so
just
cool.
the ideas that the employers come up with to showcase an aspect of the occupation or one of the occupations that they're featuring in their booth are just that's part of what is so exciting about planning this event, because you get to hear, okay, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing
Yeah.
differently this year? Or what? And every year, the employers challenge themselves to do something new and better than what they've done before.
When you talked about the lungs, immediately I started thinking like, if I had gone to MiCareer Quest, my entire life would be different. Because I grew up like you take a quiz in 8th grade and there's 100 questions and they're like, you look like you could be a teacher, a doctor,
an accountant,
and that was the extent of exposure to possible occupations. You took a quiz and that was it. But to actually go into these places and see what nurses do and see what hauling produce guys do and construction, man, has to be awesome.
It is, especially for students. We deliberately chose 10th grade students because they're at a kind of a pivotal point in their high school experience in determining, are they going to go on the college preparation track or are they going to participate in career and tech ed classes? And they aren't mutually exclusive necessarily, but it really exposes them to different occupations and may help provide them direction as they continue to make their plans for post-high school graduation. And a lot of students don't want to go to school after high school. And this event also helps them expose them to many occupations where you can go to work, become an apprentice, and start learning a craft that can lead to a lifetime of very stable employment and good wage without having to go to a college necessarily.
I existed when the pendulum was swinging beyond just simply you had to go to college to get a job into you had to go to college and get an advanced degree to get a job. So it went even harder into that rabbit hole. And of course, a lot of folks benefited from that. I didn't necessarily, but to see that pendulum start swinging back to, if college is advanced degree, university is for you, awesome. Yeah. But if not, you have options. If going to trade school and learning how to weld and doing all these other things is for you, also awesome. And I
Yes.
love that really embrace of both, like differing paths as opposed to just here's one path for everybody regardless. It's very cool to see that.
It's giving, as I view it, equitable treatment to all industries.
Yeah, right.
So it's not that, if you don't get into a four-year university or any type of higher education, then you can go into skilled trades or something like that. So I like that it's giving options to students to let them know.
Skilled trades can be very demanding
Yes.
academically, depending on what is required for that trade. I know for electricians, that can be pretty challenging. And if you have the right aptitude and love to work outdoors and with your hands, then it's a great profession.
Yes, it is.
Yep. If employers are listening to this and saying, "Hey, this sounds like an amazing event," also very high in demand, like the window is closing for ability to participate. Is there a way that an employer can hop on like a website or something and say, "Hey, we're really interested in being an exhibitor"? Are they still able to do that this year? Okay, tell me about that, Kristen.
We're just starting our planning for exhibitors. We have our first information session the week of March 20th.
Okay.
And there is still time to register to participate in those. They can go to MiCareer Quest Middle Michigan .com, MiCareerQuestMM.com, and that is the registration would be available on the website for them to sign up for either of the two information sessions that we're planning for that week.
Okay.
And learn about what is involved in becoming an exhibitor and determining whether or not it makes sense for your organization.
Right.
And then start brainstorming, because that's the fun of it is what can we do and how can we simulate an aspect of an occupation in a meaningful way. I'll use Star of the West as an example. They've participated in person in both live events that we've had. The first year they had a 5-step game that they created to demonstrate agronomy and what agronomy looks like for Star of the West.
Okay.
This last time they created a Jeopardy type game that was
that's
very
cool.
engaging, and they wear their I Love Gluten shirts, and they talk about
Sorry if you're gluten free, and that just made you shudder at home.
Man.
well, that's part of what makes me laugh is, what better advertising? They mill flour, so it's awesome. The creativity that the companies show.
Yeah, it's almost like a science fair meets a career fair.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask, on the flip side of that, for our educators that are listening. So, Kristen, I'm a superintendent or a teacher, and I want my students involved. I want my 10th graders involved. Can they sign up? How do they get involved?
Yep, we have registration for schools planned. There's a spring registration, and then we have a short window usually in August. It will be in August this year because of the time of the event.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that need to happen in the background to logistically make sure that we've got everything in place for the event. We have spring registration. I want to say it's opening up the middle of April, and we'll go through the middle of May.
Okay. Oh, so that's soon. It's coming soon.
Sign your students up.
Okay.
It is absolutely the feedback that I've received from teachers is that this is one of the best field trips they've ever taken their students on. And we want every student to have the opportunity to have this exposure.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Very cool. So give me a quick, before we wrap up, give me a quick, when is this event? Where is this event? The kind of the nitty gritty facts and details that people have to know.
So it's scheduled for March. We're in March. It's September 29th at SVSU. Buses start arriving just before 8, and the last ones leave by 3 o'clock. It is a very action-packed day for students and exhibitors, but we encourage every 10th grader to come. And if your student is not registered, parents have actually brought their students to the event so that their child did not miss
very
out.
cool.
I had one other question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If we're community partners, can community partners volunteer to assist with the event?
We love our volunteers.
Yes, please. That's Kristen's nice way of saying, please volunteer.
Come now.
Yeah.
You're locked in.
Yes, it really takes about, I want to say, almost 200 volunteers
Mhm.
to pull this event off with the safety guidelines that we put in place.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So absolutely, we welcome volunteers,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of time on your feet, but it's time well spent.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a
Wear
it's
your
a great
walking
event.
shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, like imagine being able to help kids find possibly their future career in exactly the situation that you want them to discover it. Hands-on, experiential, high energy. It's just very, very cool. If somebody's listening and they want to be a volunteer, do they email you, or who do they reach out to?
There's also a place on the website
Okay.
where you can put down that you're interested in being a volunteer. We
Cool.
we do volunteer registration closer to the event. That usually is happening sometime July, August timeframe. But you can also email me, and I'll make sure that we get your name on the list.
Okay. Awesome. So if you are a prospective employer that wants to participate, if you are an educator that wants to bring your kids, if you are a parent wanting to pull your kid out of school, have them skip class to go to this, if you
want to
want
volunteer.
if you want to volunteer, we'll throw that link in the caption so that everybody is heading to that same place. But man, now's the time to start thinking about it, people. If you're listening and you say, I want to participate in MiCareer Quest in some kind of way, now's the time to do it in preparation for this event in September. I am so stoked. Marlene is going to be
Yes.
there. Kristen's
Woohoo.
going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be
Let's
amazing. Kristen, I want to thank you for the work that you're doing with this. I mean,
Yes.
as a former teacher, taking your kids on field trips can be hairy, and then you leave and then you're like, I don't know if this is really worth my time. But you guys are absolutely crushing this event. I mean,
Yes.
it just
Thank you.
sounds amazing, and people don't really appreciate all of the work that goes on behind the scenes. If you just show up for your 90 minutes and you're thinking, yeah, this is great.
It's a lot of
I
work.
mean, the logistics of it and
Yeah.
the planning of it, the organization of it, and just elevating it to a high standard where everybody can leave saying, this is such a great experience for these kids, man. So I want to thank you and everybody else that's involved with this for putting on such a killer event.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you for coming.
It's a labor of love, truly.
Yes.
We love this event.
Awesome.
Well, it's greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you so much, Marlene. I'll see you guys in September.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.